What is up, my dudes? And that one girl wants to know the score. I got you, one girl. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. Ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear or on some Hogworks gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me and all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Boom! Then you should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. And of course, as always, down below is my link for my merch. You should get yourself a hat like this or one of the t-shirts, stickers, patches, whatever. Swag yourself up, look a little cooler, do something nice, whatever. I don't know, make it happen. On with the video. All right, guys, so today we are going to be giving Harley Davidson a mid-year review and a grade at the end. So hang out to see how I feel Harley Davidson is doing so far in 2026. Now, of course, some of this took place in 2025 because, well, let's be honest, model years start a few months early. So keep that in mind. If I do happen to mention something and you're like, hey, wait a minute, that happened in October. Yes, again, model year 2026. So we're gonna kick this off with what I feel is a win for Harley Davidson, and that is the Street Glide CVO this year came out in one color. I have mentioned this in past videos. I absolutely hated it when Harley Davidson was putting out the Road Glide and the Street Glide CVOs in like 4 or 5 different colors, different configurations. I hated that. That took away from the whole CVO aspect. Now I get it. The previous CEO was really trying to cash in as much as possible with the higher priced bikes. In doing that, he made it so there were more higher priced bikes out there. But the CVO, Custom Vehicle Organization, is supposed to be a little bit more special, a little bit harder to get, a little bit more unique. It shouldn't be running the same playbook as the other bikes where you can pick chrome or black pipes, different paint jobs, different styles. None of that should happen. It should be, this is the CVO for the year. You don't like that color? That's cool. See you later. We'll see you next year. And Harley has gotten back into that with this CVO, and I think that is fantastic. I hope they keep doing this going forward. And just to add to that, I would really like to see the CVOs move to being numbered. I feel like they did this back in the day. I haven't done enough research to actually confirm this. So if I'm right or wrong, sound off in the comments down below. But I would love to see it where it's like 1 of 2,000, 2 of 2,000. Like make those a little bit more exclusive. Like make that happen. They are the CVOs. Let's make them as special as possible. Now on the other side of that coin, Harley Davidson decided not to really do anything CVO related for the Road Glides. True, there is the Road Glide CVO ST, but that is it. Normally there is a Road Glide CVO ST, there is the Road Glide CVO. They didn't do that. And with the Street Glide, they did. And fantastic, I get it. Let's have the Street Glide have its moment in the sun. So this year you've got the Street Glide CVO ST, the Street Glide CVO, the Street Glide CVO Limited, the Street Glide Tri-Glide, whatever. There are multiple versions of the Street Glide CVO. There are a ton of different flavors for you to choose from, and I think that is fantastic. Although at the same time, I feel like this is kind of a bad move for Harley because Road Glide has such a spotlight on it right now, just because that is the model they go with the king of the baggers. So overall, sales for the Road Glides have gone up exponentially over the last couple of years. That is something they really should be leaning into and giving you those different flavors of Road Glide year over year. So was this a good move? Was it a bad move? I don't know. We do still have the Road Glide CVO ST, the Road Glide Limited, and the RG3, which is the trike version. So there are still plenty of flavors for the Road Glide for you to choose from this year. But I feel like having a few of those CVOs in there outside of the ST would have been a good move. So the next up is the 2026 Liberty Edition of several of the Harleys that are out there right now. It comes with its own custom paint job. It comes with its own custom badging. These bikes look awesome, and they are meant to lean into the 250th anniversary of the US. So high five to you, Harley, for doing that and really capitalizing on something that is all over the place right now. So high five to Harley for absolutely leaning into this and absolutely capitalizing on this anniversary altogether. That is just a brilliant move that everyone should really be doing at this point in time. Now, where I will ding Harley Davidson on this is they really should have did this as a very limited line with numbering. Now, if you check out the site, it does say that this is a limited line. It doesn't say how many. This is one of those things where they really should have just leaned in and did 1 of 250, 2 of 250 with each of the bikes on there. It should have just been 250 of each of those numbered plates and really pushed that and really fully leaned into that so they could absolutely maximize this whole opportunity. I feel like overall this was just a miss on their part. Now, speaking of numbered bikes, they did release a new Super Glide. Now, the Super Glide used to be part of the Dyna line. The Dyna line does not exist anymore, so it is a soft tail now, and it's not too far off from what a Street Bob is. However, it does separate itself from a Street Bob in the ways that it has spoked wheels, has way more chrome, and it does have a much better paint job that is a throwback to that 70s and 80s vibe. So I'm digging this. It looks good. They also kept the price within reason. It's actually only $1,000 more than the Street Bob. And even though this bike is not part of the Enthusiast Collection or the Icon Collection, it is coming in numbered. So there are 2,500 of these produced, and they are each being numbered. I saw one at Laconia this year. It was number 13, and I was tempted. I even went up to the dude over there. I was like, hey, can I buy this bike right now? And they're like, oh, we don't think we can sell this one. Would have been kind of cool to have number 13. I would have been down for that. If I was to say there was any real big miss on this bike, aside from throwing it back to a dyno, which, let's be honest, I'm not going to do that. But they could have at least put the boat tail on there, just so it had that real, like, old school Super Glide sort of look and feel to it. That they fell short there. It's a Street Bob with a few tasteful upgrades on it, and I'm cool with that. I really am. It is an accessible bike at 16 grand. So overall, I'm not complaining. Is it the bike for me? No. I mean, unless I could get that number 13. But overall, I feel like it's a good addition to the lineup. Now, speaking of the Street Bob, that went down $1,000 in 2026. So if you compare it to the 2025 model, they actually brought the price down. And it's not only the Street Bob, the Lowrider S, the Lowrider ST, several other bikes were actually reduced in price. And then several others were actually kept at the same price. Now, anyone who's ever followed Harley for any point in time knows this is not something Harley does. They love to just bring those prices up a little bit every year, even if nothing changes on the bike. Even if they're just like, oh, we slapped a new paint job on it. We're definitely gonna have to charge you an extra grand for that. Oh, this Vivid Black is slightly blacker than last year's Vivid Black, so we're gonna have to up the price there. You know that this is unheard of for Harley. So to actually just stop jacking up the price or actually roll back some of those prices, that's a win. I think that is fantastic. But with that, and speaking of price, Harley has teased that there is a sub $6,000 bike coming, and I believe it was supposed to be out this year. However, since that has been mentioned, there has been no further news about it. We have not seen a bike, we have not seen an actual price, we have not heard any specs. It has just gone completely dark. So I don't even know if they still plan to do a sub $6,000 bike. That sucks, because a sub $6,000 bike is going to be much better when you're targeting younger riders and trying to get them in under the Bar and Shield brand. And then you can build them up to other bikes that are more expensive. So Harley, I don't know what you're waiting for, but fix it. Make this happen. Now, also new in 2026, Harley has gotten their new CEO, Artie Starrs. Now, when he was announced, yeah, there were a lot of questions behind that. And I had questions behind that, because he does not come from a traditional motorcycle background. But I made a video about that. I talked about it and I said, let the guy cook. Let's see what he comes up with. Give him enough rope and let's see what he does with it. And honestly, it seems like he is making a lot of great choices. And I'm really interested to see how Harley progresses under Artie Starrs. One of the things he has been doing that I really appreciate, I've been hearing it from different dealerships when I go there and I talk to them and I talk about Artie Starrs. Apparently he has been traveling around the country, going to different dealerships, having Zoom meetings, doing a lot of face-to-face, a lot of handshaking, and actually listening to what dealers' concerns, wants, needs, and so on and so forth have been. And it seems like he is responding accordingly to that feedback he is getting. And I think that is fantastic, because that's really where things should be starting. It should be ground up and not from the corporate down. You want to listen to the people who are there dealing with the customers. So Artie, keep it coming. Keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing it better. Keep raising that bar. I want to see you succeed, and I want to see Harley succeed. So I'm pulling for you, buddy. Make it happen. Now, speaking about listening to the customer, Harley is bringing the Rev Max line back to the US. Now, I know there's been a whole new attack campaign against Harley Davidson, where they were going after him for making bikes overseas and shipping them into the US. And with that, a lot of people thought that Harley Davidson had decided to move things back as a response to those ads. Now, I disagree with this for a few different reasons. The biggest one is Harley Davidson is not a nimble, efficient company. They are not going to just be able to turn on a dime. They are not going to be able to turn on YouTube, see someone saying something mean to them, and just completely change direction on this ship. They said originally, when they sent the Rev Max engine overseas, that it was going to be for a year and then they were going to bring it back stateside. Now, in fairness, I think they're doing it for 2 years total, but again, not a nimble, quick company. So the fact that it is coming back so quickly is impressive, and I think that is fantastic. And if anything, I wasn't horribly mad about the Rev Max lineup going overseas. The Rev Max lineup has not been incredibly popular just yet. It has not been making the money. It has not been making the sales Harley, I'm sure, was hoping for. So you send it overseas, you save a little bit of money while you're trying to build up that fan base and build up that sort of reputation with the engine, and then you bring it back and then really start to make it grow. I feel like that is great. And overall, I feel like this is a sign that Harley is very much invested in the Rev Max and invested in this being the future of their V-twins. The fact that they didn't just cut their losses and run out the door, but look for a couple different options to keep this up and running without taking huge losses year over year is smart. It really is. So overall, I am just happy that they brought it back to the States. We're bringing it back to American workers, American factories, and an American bike. That is awesome. So congratulations, Harley. Good job. And that's not the only return. The limited lineup has returned, and they really did make some great changes to these bikes. They upgraded the lowers and they added LED lighting to the lowers, changed some of the venting on there, really made a difference there where it's not just the same thing they've been doing for the last decade or so. They upgraded the tour pack, they upgraded the speakers in the tour pack. Overall, they just made these bikes better. And I am very much excited for these. These are good looking bikes. And if you're looking for something where you're just going to get on the road and crush a lot of miles, these Limiteds, they are set up and ready to go. And there's so many flavors of them. You've got the Road Glide, you've got the Street Glide, you've got the Tri Glide. There's quite a few options out there for you. And overall, Harley just did a fantastic job moving these forward, so it wasn't just the same old with a new paint job slapped on it. And they weren't even done with updates there. They went back and they redesigned the entire rear suspension of their trikes. Now, I'm not a big fan of trikes, but trikes are obviously popular, especially with, certain demographics of riders. So absolutely fantastic on Harley for just going in and upgrading these and not just doing the same old with the trikes. I think this is just a great improvement, and it's great that they are listening to their riders and fixing some of those problems that people had in the past. But if we're talking about trikes, I still got to ding Harley hard here. Now, Artie, are you watching? Come here, Artie. Let's talk. Artie, come here. Let's talk. Make the Penster happen. Here's the thing. Reverse trikes are growing. You see more and more of these on the road year after year, and there really only seems to be one player in this market. So there's really no competition for these guys, and they can just put out the same crap year over year. And I've seen these reverse trikes. They are crap. Harley could really take a bite out of this whole market. They could jump in and be that competitor. And they've already got it. There are 2 Pensters sitting in the Harley Museum. There is one that definitely looks like a lighter, sportier one, and then there's definitely one that looks a little bit bigger, a little heavier. You could do these with the Rev Max engines. Put the 975 in that sporty little one, put the 1250 in that bigger, beefier one, and get these on the road. These things would be direct competition for the Rikers and the Spiders and all that goofy stuff. Make this happen. You already have the base right there. All you have to do is make some tweaks to get the Rev Maxes in there, and you're good to go. And, probably get LEDs in there, because I guarantee both of these have just bulbs. But update these, get these on the road, make them competitively priced, and get into that market while it's still fairly empty. You can do this. So the last thing I really want to mention is Harley dropped the news that they plan to bring back the Sportster 883. Now, there's really no details on this right now, but we know it is coming, and that is fantastic because the Sportster has just been synonymous with Harley for so many years. And let's be honest, the new Sportster Sport and the Nightster just really aren't cutting it. I will say though, the Nightster has a much better profile and it looks more like the air-cooled Sportsters than that Sportster Sport does, but it would be great to see the 883 back. And I feel like they are answering customer demand here. And no doubt this will have a softer price tag on it than some of those bigger heavyweight cruisers. So I am excited to see what they do with this, and I am excited to see this back on the market. All right, so how would I grade Harley Davidson in this mid-year review of 2026? Honestly, I would give them a solid B-. Like, not a B+, not a B, definitely not an A. There's still work to do, but they definitely haven't been phoning it in like past years that would deserve a C, D, or F. I feel like a B- is a solid grade for where they're at right now, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. So that's what I've got. What do you got? What would you grade Harley Davidson for mid-year 2026? Sound off in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one judgy dude you know who just wants to be all judgy. Loves this stuff, trust me. I'll see you all on the flip side.